Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's June 25th, 2023, and today I'm going to mound up our russet potatoes. So I think it was about 3 weeks ago I came out and prepped this garden bed and made one deep trough going down the center of this potato bed here. This had a cover crop on it that we terminated just beforehand, and I did run the rototiller down on this bed after flail mowing it. I don't like using the rototiller for our garden beds because it really disrupts the soil and all, but I decided to do it anyways. So it's much easier to get the potatoes planted. So I made the soil up on each side, then I went down and I laid the potatoes, so I really just had a V trough in the center, laid the seed potatoes, which the eyes or the new shoots were probably as much as 18 inches long. So they were way down in the base of this trough here, and the little tips were just being buried at each side. So I ran them up each side. Some, of course, came up in the center. And then I went out and got some of our compost, and I just filled in the void in the center. So now it's time to go and hill up your potatoes. So the potatoes, we want them to have grown 6 to 8 inches above the soil surface. And typically what you do is you take the soil that was around the sides and you pull it back up and leave the tops of these exposed on the surface. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use the double ground hardwood bark mulch, and I'm just going to fill in the voids around here. I'll put some on the sides as well. But typically you'd use your garden soil and just hill it back up. You do want to leave at least the top leaves up here exposed so that they can continue to expand and grow and develop the potatoes down below. We don't want to stunt their development, otherwise the potatoes will be small. So this is the bed, what it looks like right now. And here's the end of it. So you can see some of them are good. Geez, that's a good 14 inches. That one is above. So I should have done this a few days ago. We did have some rain. We got just over another ½ inch of rain. It has been very hot and humid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Mini-Me here. I just went out and got some of the double ground hardwood bark mulch, which is nice, beautiful, fine particles and all. And I'm going to use my aluminum flat shovel here to go ahead and scoop up some of the mulch, carefully put it around here, try not to bury too many of these, and get the weeds covered up that are coming out of the compost there, and see what we can accomplish. So it'll help with the development of more potatoes potentially, although we don't really need a heck of a lot more, but it'll suppress the weeds in between the potato plants. But we don't want to go too deep as well. So I'm going to put a little bit there and we'll see what we can get accomplished. So here we go. Okay, well, I just finished hilling up the potatoes, and one of the things I should have mentioned, although typically we think about using the soil on the perimeters that we dug down in before to mound up or hill the potatoes, I forgot to mention you can use straw, you can use leaves, you can use grass clippings, a whole variety of things. You just don't want to put anything with active seed in it so that it's going to compete with the potatoes as well. I chose to use what we pay for is our double ground hardwood bark mulch, and I think this is going to work out. So I start off using the shovel and Mini-Me here to get as much of the hardwood bark mulch, and I ended up getting 3 scoops. Each one of these is probably a little less than a half a yard. I should measure it sometime and see just what it is. I removed the drip tapes first, and then what I did do was I went ahead and started hilling up on the sides, on each side and on the ends. And if I could see voids, I would go ahead and put the hardwood bark mulch right in between in the voids. But by hilling it up, then later on what I can do is just work my way in and push the material in between around each one of these plants. Now, could it get hilled up a little bit more, or should I have done this before? Probably. I usually only do it once a season. We have short seasons, and I don't want to hill it up. And I do dig a pretty deep trough when I first do this. Now, could I in 2 weeks' time, or even in 1 week's time, come in and re-hill it again? I certainly could. I may do that. It's just time and energy. And from this bed, we'll get plenty of potatoes for us for a full year, no problem at all. So that's the hilling process that I use. Certainly, people in container gardens will do, in sacks or in bins or whatever, and just start with a few potatoes and just gradually keep every week or every week to 2 weeks adding more and more mulch or compost on top of it, and you work your way up and end up with a 4 foot high potato bed with lots of potatoes from just 1 or 2 potatoes that you sliced up. So you can maximize the amount. This is one of the things I'm always trying to do, is balance how much time, how much materials, what it's going to cost me, both energy wise, time wise, and financially, and just try to figure out the best way for us to get as much out of the gardens as we can get with the expenses that we're affording it. So pretty happy with the bed at this point. We will see. I'll do a garden update soon. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below and let us know how your gardens are doing. Thanks so much. Bye-bye now.